All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? Very unfortunate story that we are giving you guys this morning. Breaking news, Chris Brown has been detained, arrested by French police after he has been accused of rape. Chris Brown and two members of his team, again, detained by the French police after a woman was claimed she was raped by the singer in a hotel room. The French authorities have been able to confirm to TMZ that Chris Brown is in custody for aggravated rape and narcotics offenses. All right, authorities went on to say he is being processed right now, which appears to be the French version of being arrested and booked. All right. The woman says she met Chris Brown overnight between January 15th and January 16th at Club Le Cristal, and then headed back to the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, with the singer, where she claims to have been raped. Investigators have 2 days to decide to file a preliminary charge or just let Chris Brown go scotch-free. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. Worst case scenarios for Chris Brown. If Brown is not released, a prosecutor can ask the judge to either keep Chris Brown in custody pending a trial or let him go free with obligations. If he's released with obligations, he could be required to surrender his passport to French authorities, and he would remain in Paris pending a trial. And typically Paris trials take about a year. The lawyer also adds that Chris Brown could be required to go to the police station every 2 weeks to ensure that he is still in France. That is worst case scenario. I'm just going to kind of back away from this story and let justice do what the justice system is going to do. I can say this. Paris is a little bit stricter than the United States in regards to rape, and they may not be willing to let Chris Brown out until his trial. Again, that's worst case scenario if a lot of evidence is found against Chris Brown and prosecution and the law officials out there believe Chris Brown and 2 of his associates raped this woman who's claiming that she was raped. Now, as we all know, Chris Brown, he's notoriously known, one of the things he's known for at least, is the alleged attack that seen Rihanna brutally beat in Los Angeles, where she had facial injuries to her eyes and mouth that even required hospitalization. That was a long time ago. Dang, I was in like middle school when that happened. Brown pled guilty to that felony. He was sentenced to community service, 5 years probation, and domestic violence counseling. He had a lot of stuff happen in between his latest incident back in May. Brown was sued by a woman who was claimed she was raped at a party at Chris Brown's home. The woman claimed Chris Brown supplied her with Molly, cocaine, and weed, and that it was one of his friends who raped her. She sued Chris Brown because he provided the setting and the drugs. That case is ongoing. That lawsuit is ongoing as I speak. So obviously, with the checkered past that Breezy already has, one could assume that might already add some merit to this woman's accusations that Chris Brown and 2 of his homies raped her. We don't know the truth. Obviously, I was not there. Obviously, you were not there inside of this hotel room to know what happened or not. All I know is that this doesn't look good if you're a Chris Brown fan, or hell, if you're Chris Brown himself. This is not good. I look at Chris Brown, I look at him like a Penny Hardaway, right? Anybody that knows basketball, y'all know I'm from Memphis. Anybody that knows basketball, you know how talented a Penny Hardaway or a Grant Hill were. And, injuries kind of derailed their career for all my modern day people out there, the younger, compared to a Derrick Rose. This guy's got all this talent. He's got all this potential. There were people comparing Chris Brown, a young Chris Brown, to a young Michael Jackson at one point in this young man's career. Chris Brown's still fairly young. He's not even 30 yet, I'm not sure, but he's already got like 15 years in the game. He came into the game that young. A lot of people put some high expectations on him because he's just that talented, can sing, dance, do it all. He's a total package. And I just look at him as somebody who, yeah, he makes music. Yeah, he might have a hit record every couple years. It's cool. But as regard as being in that top light, that time has long passed Chris Brown. I feel like a lot of people have taken that moment from Chris Brown. The Drakes of the world, the Weeknd, a lot of artists have kind of shared what was supposed to be Chris Brown. This is supposed to be his era. He's supposed to be collecting rings. This is supposed to be his Steph Curry era, his Tom Brady era. He's supposed to be the top dog right now in the game. But unfortunately, because of his image, it is tough to have Chris Brown as the guy in the culture. It is tough to get him booked in certain spots because of his checkered past. And when you see an incident like this pile on, we're just talking about from an image standpoint, let alone if he's actually convicted of any of this that he's accused of. Listen, man, I compare it to Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had the torn ACL. It looked like Chris Brown might have the torn nose socket because it looked like he just can't put down the drugs, specifically that cocaine. I wish him nothing but the best. Drugs are, man, kids don't do drugs. If you don't know what stay away from drugs. Stay away from drugs if you don't know what the hell you're doing. All right, if you can't hang, leave it alone. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Again, breaking news into the atmosphere. Chris Brown arrested, and he is, again, as we speak, with French authorities until they kind of sort all this stuff out. And right now, Chris Brown is in custody for an alleged aggravated rape and narcotic offenses. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
All the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO. Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.